In this video, we're going to take a look at the spelling preferences in Movie Magic Screenwriter, things such as autocorrection, auto-capitalization, and single or double spacing, and how you can do manual spell checks. In order to open the preferences, just hit the gear icon at the top of the Navidock, or on the Mac you could also go to Screenwriter and Preferences. This brings you to pretty much all the preferences of the program, and this time we will focus on the preferences in the spelling tab. In the first section you can check if you want to have spell check active as you type and edit. And you see that the program tells you here that if you want to make use of character name aliases and substitution text, it is necessary to have this active. If you don't know what character name aliases and substitution text are, take a look at the user lists video. Also, you can have Screenwriter beep on any unknown word, and it even lets you choose from different sounds. If you want no sound but still want the program to react on unknown words, you can choose flash the menu bar from the drop-down menu. Also, you can have unknown words highlighted if you want. Then, below that, we have some autocorrect settings. You can switch autocorrect on and off, and if you have it switched on, you can check whether you want Screenwriter to give you a selection of several correction possibilities, and you can also define a maximum word length and an autocorrect sound. And you can check if you want the program to ask you whether to learn or ignore the word when the same autocorrection is made in the same element several times. Down below there are some settings for auto-capitalization. You can choose whether you want auto-capitalization for sentences turned on, and if sentences that follow a short element should be exempt from that. And you can auto-capitalize character names or check all caps to have them in all caps within the action line. This all caps does not refer to how the character names are formatted in the character name element, because they're always in all caps there. This is only for having them all caps in the action element as well. Then, at the bottom you can check the correct double capitals at word beginnings if you don't release the shift key fast enough. This next checkbox is interesting. You can choose whether you want the closing parentheses in dialog elements to be treated like the end of a sentence. So the program will apply beginning of sentence settings after that closing parenthesis. For example, to change the first letter that comes after the closing parenthesis automatically to uppercase, if you have the auto-capitalized sentences setting checked. Then, the second to last setting here asks you whether you want to apply the autocorrection settings like capitalizations and spacing also when you run a manual spell check. If you go to Tools, Spell Check, you can run manual spell checks, and this correct capitalizations / spacing when run manually will take these correction settings into account if checked. Then at the bottom you can define how many spaces you want to have between sentences. Some screenwriters like 1 space, others like 2, so whatever your preference is, you can define that here. Alright, now you know how to do and set up manual and automatic spell checks in Movie Magic Screenwriter to minimize the risk of typos. Let me just add that it is still a good idea to have someone proofread it just for typos, because there may be spelling mistakes that the program doesn't catch, because theoretically you could have written a different word by mistake, one that exists but doesn't make sense in that context, and Movie Magic Screenwriter would not see that error because it would find the word in its dictionary.